Recently. I got an email from Brad, and he wrote, I hope you've been doing well since we last emailed. We had corresponded earlier. I wanted to let you know that I stumbled upon your YouTube channel 3 nights ago and found your 5-minute Reedmaker videos to be extremely informative. Thank you, Brad. And I have literally watched every single one of them, some even twice already. My mind is a little bit blown because there's a lot of them over there. He goes on, taking some very helpful tips, once again embark on the never-ending journey of reedmaking. I also wanted to let you know that I've recently purchased a very lightly used Yamaha Kingwood oboe that's approximately 4 or 5 years old. I was hoping you could let me know what, if any, specific accommodations you found yourself needing to make to your reeds when you were using your Yamaha as your primary oboe. I'm accustomed to grenadilla oboes, so I'm experimenting to see what the Yamaha likes best, and I would love any pointers that you might have. Okay, so first of all, yay! I love hearing from oboists, I love making connections, and I love being able to attach stories to names and answer questions and solve problems. Although, as you'll see, I can't exactly totally answer this one. In fact, it's actually really common for people ordering reeds from me to mention their oboe. I play on an old Lauben, on a C-Series Larray. I play on a really nice Kabar. I play on a Fox English horn with such and such a vocal. Like, people say this to me all the time. And maybe there are reed makers out there who have a list of, for a Larray, do this, for a Fox, do this, but I definitely do not. I make joyful conversation about their oboes with them because I love oboes, but on my actual work, order list, I just write medium, and I do my very best for them. Here's what I actually wrote back to Brad. I wrote, it's so great to hear from you. I'm glad to think that my videos are helpful at all, and I appreciate those kind words. Congratulations on your new baby. I wish I could give you a set of super clearly defined pointers on reeds for Yamahas versus reeds for Larrays versus Bulgeronis, etc., but I do find it almost impossible to generalize. When I get a new instrument, of course I play it on my existing reeds. Of course. Oboes all work the same way, and the reed that you used to choose that oboe was no doubt something you had made for your previous instrument. As I work with an oboe, though, I'll find myself wanting, more depth in the sound, or more brilliance in the upper register, or better stability in the mid-range. And I'll tweak the reed that I'm on, just today's reed, to give me just a little more of whatever I need. And with the next reed, I'll adjust it again to maximize the possibility of the oboe in my hand. And over time, this will mean that your reeds evolve to being a little more scraped out in the back or a little more channeled in the heart. It's subtle and it's personal, and it's really an evolution. If I still had any, I could look back at the reeds I was using with my Yamaha 5 years, 6 years ago, and they would probably look different in some really consistent ways from the reeds that I'm playing now with my Howarth, but it happened so gradually, I cannot tell you at all what those changes were. I talk about this sort of thing all the time on my reed videos, right? Because I'm trying to be an educator. I try to talk about, if this, then that. If you have this problem, you're going to scrape in this way. If you have, if your reed is too sharp, you're going to do this. If your reed is too flat, you're going to do this. Because I am trying to actually be helpful and offer some sort of scientific or helpful communication that people can take away with them. But in practice, I really just react to the reed that's in my hand. I know what I need it to do or what I need it to feel like, and I let my knife sort of take the lead. And this is possible because I make thousands of reeds a year. It takes time to build up an instinct like this and to really sort of have a sense of when you scrape, this is the thing that's going to happen. And the instinct is about having those reed skills to react to changing situations. Because I make reeds all the time, I do have the basic instincts to react to changing situation. If it's sunny one day and it rains the next day, maybe the reed feels a little heavier, maybe the reed feels a little saggier. I'll clip it a little bit, I'll scrape it a little bit, and I'll make changes. I think it's really important and useful to have the experience, to just be able to do what it takes to bring that instrument along with you. And you know this, right? You know when you're playing that what it is that you need. You can probably put into words the thing that you're unhappy about with your existing setup, with the reed du jour and the oboe du jour. And if you can put it into words, that's the first step to being able to fix it. You may not know what to do next. You may feel a little stymied. You may feel like you'd better just stick with what you have. But here's what I say to that. To develop this instinct, to sort of have a sense of what's going on, make a lot of reeds. the more reads you make, the more you begin to see those reads as a renewable resource. You can take the one that's not giving you what you need, you can form a hypothesis about it, and you can run an experiment. If it fails, you have some data. If it succeeds, then you have a read, and you can play it, and you can love it. From my studio here, in my read business, I try to mail out the best reads I can. But inevitably, it's going to be a read that's optimized for the way I play, and for the instrument that I'm holding and working with. If you're not making your own reads now, or if you're accepting without adjustment what your teacher hands you or what you get from the music store or from a pro Reedmaker like me, you're probably a little below what your instrument can optimally do for you. It's not about like necessarily making your rooftop shape different because you're playing a buffet or a marigot. It's about balancing things just a little bit differently because it feels like you need to do something a little bit different. And really, this is the reason to get comfortable working on your own reads. It's because nobody knows your mouth and your oboe and your voice that you want to project like you do. So at this point, I'd like to point out that I like to help, and I do try to offer as much support as I can for Reedmakers. I try to help Reedmakers as much as I can. I have my 5-minute Reedmaker channel over on YouTube, and I offer reading circles, which is like social reed making, over here in Indiana, once or twice a month. I have Oboe Read Boot Camp in the summer, which is also live and in person, and I take questions and I cover them as well as I can online. But I want you to consider that if you are not already doing it, maybe this is the year that you choose to up-level your reed making so that your actual playing and your actual music making can progress with ease and with joy. I'm going to be offering some new things early in the new year, and I'm pretty excited about that. So all I would say is make sure you're following me here at Jennet Ingle Oboist. Make sure you're following my YouTube channel. It's Jennet Ingle, or you can look up the 5-minute Reedmaker. You can find me pretty easily, so that you won't miss what I'm going to be talking about coming up really, really soon in the new year. But meanwhile, thank you so much for watching this. If you have questions, go ahead and place them in the comments, or email me, or find me on my website, jennetingle.com. There's a million ways to be in touch. Thank you so much for watching. Have an absolutely great day.